Okay, I am Emre from Team65, and this is my arcade game project for CSSE220. So, I want to talk about outline, special features. I will be talking about special features, overall design decisions, and some of the bugs I have in the game. So, this is my UML. The thing is a little different than this, but it's basically the same. The UML is wrong because like my monster one extends the entity class, so that's a little mistake here. Other than that, my main class just holds the frame. It just displays stuff. I have a main component here that basically does kind of all of the work. It reads the level, it creates the level according to that, it changes the level, and it paints everything. And then I have this big class called entity, which contains the main functions for hero, monster, monster 1, and monster 2. I did this because these classes shared a lot of similarities, so if I didn't do this, there'd be a lot of code multiplication. Also, doing this just helped me play with them easier. Other than that, I have an egg and bowl class. These are small classes, they don't do much. And at the back, I have some action listeners that listen to key presses, and when those key presses happen, or if there's an automatic thing, it will call functions from these classes and will act according to it. So here are some of my design decisions. This one is from uh, monster movement. So what it does is it's very simple. If my monster's velocity y is bigger than 0, it checks if there's any collision with a brick, and if not, it continues. If my velocity is less than 0, then it does this part and checks it. It basically just checks if there's any collision. If there's a collision, it returns, so there won't be any movement. But if there's no collision, my monster will move. Here is another one of my decision making. So this is from my fall listener class, which basically makes my monster fall automatically. It just checks if my monster is colliding with any of the bricks, and if not, it falls and redraws the frame. It's very simple. Here I just have an inside box function that checks for an intersection between a rectangle 2D and this object. Another one is, this is like very similar. This is for my this is so my monster, whenever it goes to right or left, it checks if it's X or if it's X is 0 or 765, and if it is, which are my frame sizes, it changes its direction so it doesn't go off the screen. Another thing it does is, if this entity we're talking about is monster 2, then it creates a new random, and if this random is divisible by 49, then it creates a bowl, and bowl just basically moves with twice the velocity of a monster, and if you hit a ball, you die. I mean, you lose an HP, you don't die. And also, if this random R is divisible by 50, my monster 2 creates an egg, which if you take, your movement speed will increase. This doesn't become a monster, so you don't have to be afraid of it. Other than that, there's another code snippet here. So this one checks if there's any intersection with a bowl and a hero. If this is the case, it adds this bowl to the remove array list and reduces my life by 1. Fun fact, hayat is the Turkish for life in English. Yeah, I guess. So what I learned from this project is, I would say I learned how to use interface inheritance, because like most of this project I used a lot of inheritance because there was a lot of place where I had to use duplicated code, so inheritance helped a lot with that. and I also learned how to handle like things, like how to remove things from a off game. I also ended up learning. I guess I learned a lot about inheritance and stuff, but I think like programming a game here really taught me like how object-oriented programming works. So it was a fun experience, especially like almost I made every noun a class, so they were really easy to handle. It took a lot of time and effort, but it was a fun project. So as bugs, the only bug I have in my game, I wouldn't say the bug. Uh, Collisions are not like handled perfectly realistic, but other than that, it works. It like works 99% of the time, but there's that 1% time that it's not handled perfectly. Well, anyways, thanks for listening, and I'll leave you to the demonstration of my game. Okay, so I will be now demonstrating my game. So I have two types of monsters, green and a yellow one. The yellow one does nothing other than just try to kill you and drop an egg. Oh, and by the way, if you don't, so if you do not take the egg in the next 15 seconds, the egg will become a monster. So also my green monster both shoots, which reduces your life, and if you it also drops random eggs. So if you take them, your movement speed will increase, which is my extra feature. And if you kill all the monsters in a level, your level should increase. And again, as you see, I have 3 levels, so if I kill all these monsters again, I will have an end game scenario. So I died, so it reset it, so we will just go to the last level and we'll try to win. Okay, so when I win the game, I will have a J panel that here shows me that whether I want to restart or not. If I say no, it will close the game, and if I say yes, it will restart the game. And that's basically it.